Hi there! Welcome back to my channel. Life is a wonderful adventure. It's Saku. If you are new, thank you for stopping by. I am Japanese who is on working holiday in Australia. So last month I interviewed one of my friends who has done working holiday here in Australia. He's from UK, and why I interviewed him was because I wanted to see what's the differences between being Japanese and being from other countries at working holiday. And because being working holiday in somewhere in a country, you have to speak their language. And English is not my first language, but it is his. So I thought that would be interesting to see what's like to be on working holiday for people who's from English country. And honestly, that was my first time ever interviewing someone who is not Japanese. So the day I interviewed him, I was very nervous, but I was excited at the same time. And he was very kind to try to understand what I said. So thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate it. Anyway, he's gonna give you some advices about working holiday at the end of this video. So I hope you will watch without getting bored until the end. Anyway, let's dive in. Hi there, it's Saku. 皆さんこんにちは、桜子です。So as you can see, I have special guest today. This is Joe from UK. Yay! First of all, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, Saku.
Thank you. So you've just finished work.
Yep.
You might be a little bit tired.
Oh, it's fine. It was quite busy today, but it was fine. Everyone was nice today. Some days people aren't so nice, so it's nice. Yeah, so today was full of nice people, so it's fine.
Good.
It's all good.
Okay, so I'm having him today, and what we're gonna be talking about is about working holiday, because he just told me that you were not on working holiday visa anymore.
I'm not anymore, but when I first arrived in Australia, I was on a working holiday visa.
Okay, and did you go to get second visa?
So you get second visa, so I didn't have to do the in-between farm work, but I had to reapply, which basically cancelled my first visa, and I moved straight onto the second visa. But I was on a working holiday for around about 9 months.
9 months?
9 months, and then there was a prospect of whether or not I'd have to do my farm work, my 30 days farm work. And it's quite difficult to apply for those sort of things. So
even for you?
Yeah, even for me. I mean, even as an English person, still, depending on where you want to be, you might end up somewhere a completely different part of Australia to go and do it. So for me, I thought I would try and avoid that. So I moved on to my girlfriend's visa. She's on a different visa. She's on a temporary skilled visa because she's a doctor. So very luckily, because we've been together for 2 years, we can move on to the same visa.
Oh, that's nice.
So, yeah, which is cool. But yeah, I was on a working holiday for a while, so I know everything that comes with it. I've learned the hard way.
Did you like it though? Did you like it at working here as a working holiday?
Yeah, it's in terms of, there's lots of things that I liked about it, and there's lots of things I didn't like about it. So when I arrived, when you're on a working holiday visa, you may find it difficult to get work because you are only allowed to stay in one job for 6 months, and then you have to move on. And that's the same with everyone. That's not just people from the UK, that's just the Australian working holiday visa. But when it comes to taxation, you get taxed less as a working holiday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you do. So you get, I forget what percentage it is, but it's because I'm on a temporary skilled visa, I have to pay more tax. So yeah, so I'm now paying 32% of everything. Yeah, it's awful. So yeah, so it's 32% of everything I earn, I'm taxed. And then also you pay into a super, so we call it a pension in England. But yeah, you have to pay into a super as well. So yeah, so you pay lots of your money.
Have you been paying for super in UK?
Yes, so I have a pension. Yeah, but no, so I've started a new fund out here, super fund, and then I have to pay. And then when I decide to go back to the UK, which we're planning to do in about March time, when I want to take my super back with me, they will tax me a lot of money for it. So
Are you looking forward to
Oh yeah, like I don't want to leave Australia. I love it here. I love it. There are lots of pros to being on a working holiday visa.
Yeah.
There's also some negatives. But what was interesting with you is like you're saying the difference between being Japanese and English.
Yes.
I thought was
Yes.
yeah. But we can talk about that.
Let's get started. Have I been studying?
Yeah.
Have you studied already?
Have I studied already? Yeah.
I don't-
So I haven't studied in Australia. I studied back in the UK.
No, study.
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 Started what?
Like we are having conversation, but there is the question that I prepared.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So I've already started talking about it. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So
I've already started talking. Yeah.
That's
You can
fine.
cut it out.
I'm having fun.
Yeah. Sorry, I talk too much sometimes.
Okay, so let's do it.
Yeah. Stick.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's a question that I prepared and
Yep.
I want you to answer.
Okay.
So question number 1. How long have you been living in Australia?
So I've been living in Australia since October 2018.
Okay.
So a year and a little bit, a year and 2 months.
And then you're gonna stay until March, you said?
Yeah, so I'm going to move back in March, we think. But
March
our visa,
2020.
2020. Our visa is until June.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we're planning on going to New Zealand for a little while. So
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, just for a little while.
Exciting. I just got interested in going to New Zealand as well.
that's so cool. Saku is so cool.
Saku is so cool.
Yeah. That should be your catchphrase.
Saku is so cool. Thank you.
Yes.
Question number 2. Why did you choose Australia?
That's an interesting question because when I moved over with my girlfriend, I wanted to move to New Zealand and
Oh,
she
really?
wanted to move to Australia.
Okay.
So my partner, she has already lived in New Zealand, so we decided to both go to somewhere new for the first time. And I love Australia, like as in I've always wanted to go since I was 16. I surf, so surfing out here has been amazing. So I just love the fact that you can wake up in the morning and go surfing every day because the beach is around about like 200 meters that way.
That's
so,
a good point. Good things about Ghost Coast.
Yes, yeah. The beach is just there.
Right,
Like we
just
could not be
there.
closer.
Yeah.
So in terms of Australia, I also wanted to travel. Like I wanted to see loads of all the sites. I wanted to go to Sydney. I wanted to go to Adelaide. I wanted to go up to Cairns. I wanted to go to the Great Barrier Reef. I studied marine biology.
What's it?
Marine biology, so study of like sea life. I did a master's degree, so that's what I do for work outside of Australia. And I think the Great Barrier Reef is probably one of the best places in the world to see like marine life. I also specialise in like climate change, so how the world is changing due to our influence. And you can see on the Great Barrier Reef how much climate change is affecting the environment. That's another amazing example to see how we're changing the sea. So I love it. I'm a massive sea nerd.
So you like marine?
Yeah, I love marine stuff, so Australia is perfect. So
Oh, you don't want to leave.
I don't want to leave, no. I do want I miss home a little bit, so maybe we'll come back one day. So never say never.
You don't know what will happen.
Exactly.
Question number 3. What is the differences of living between your home country and here?
The difference is in living.
Yeah.
So it's a lot cheaper, I think, in terms of rent in Australia. So compared to where, here it's cheaper. Yeah, I think so. Like, it depends where you live in the UK. There are expensive places and there are cheap places.
Yeah.
I lived in a city called Bristol, and I love Bristol. It's a really cool city. You should definitely go. You should come visit me.
Yeah,
Come visit me in Bristol.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
which is it's a really nice place. So yeah, the rent for myself was a bit more expensive. So it's really weird. I live in a hotel.
You live in a hotel?
Yeah, so I live in a flat, like an apartment in a hotel, which is so weird, but also really cool because you can use all the facilities like swimming pool, the gym.
Yeah.
So it's really, I love it, and that's quite common in Australia. So we have 50% of people in the hotels are coming on holiday, and 50% are actually living there full time. So I find that quite weird, but it's also so lots of people do it. So
That's how people live.
yeah.
Okay.
The price of food is much more expensive out here, I found. I'm not sure if it's the same with you, but when I buy something, I see the price of something, I convert it back to my home currency.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, oh my god, that's so expensive. Like it's double the price of what it would be at home. But you have to stop with that mentality, and you have to stop converting
and deal with that.
Exactly. Yeah, because you're earning Australian dollars. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You get paid a little bit more here as well. So if you converted it back straight currency-wise, you'd get paid more. So
your food here is more expensive
yeah,
than your
my shop.
hometown.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Do you check the price of the like paper? How to say when
the receipts?
The food is on sale.
Yeah.
The like price.
Yes.
Paper is gonna be like yellow.
Yes.
Yellow
Yeah. So you have
paper.
like a reduced price. Yeah, the reduced section. Yeah, all the time.
All the time. Oh, there's cheaper.
Yeah, it's cheaper stuff. Awesome. Yeah.
I'm getting it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you do that sort of stuff all the time. Yeah, I don't know about quite a big part of British culture is also drinking alcohol, and that's quite similar to Australia. So a price of a beer is such a sort of British thing, like to say, compare how expensive things are. In England we go, how much is a pint of beer? And like it's almost like the price of beer in Australia, or maybe I found it everywhere in Australia, is the same price of the most expensive beer in England.
Really?
Yeah, it's so much more expensive, which is I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Yeah, but it is so, like every time I'm like, this is, if I want to drink beer, it's so expensive, but it tastes so good. So yeah, that's one thing I've really noticed. So the most expensive beer in London is like I'd say it's around about like £6-7 UK pounds.
Okay, that's
and then
how much?
So to the dollar at the moment, a pound is almost like $2.
Okay.
Yeah.
$2 Australian dollars.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, around about at this moment. So
pound is expensive.
Yeah, the pound is expensive. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so when you're looking at $12, $13 for a beer here, you're like, this is like drinking in the nicest place in London, which is but it's fine. Yeah, I cope. I still drink beer.
For one beer for like $20.
Yeah.
Like we can earn like $20 working for 1 hour or something.
Yeah.
That's the good things about working.
Yes. It's another thing. People that travel to Australia, the minimum wage is really quite high. It's quite good, especially compared to my home country. It's way better here. They get that on average. The minimum wage everyone is higher, I find.
How much is the minimum wage in there?
Good question. I think it's around about something like £11.
£11.
Maybe less. It depends how old you are as well.
Okay. The younger you start work.
Yes. The lower the minimum wage.
Okay.
So and that's the same case here. So we have juniors here at work, and they will be paid less.
Do you know how much less?
I have no idea how much they get paid. They work really hard as well. I feel so bad. They're like so much. Yeah, maybe like honestly, they are so much better than me, and they're paid like so much. I feel so. They work really hard.
Really?
Or do you not think so?
I don't know. I don't see them working because I'm in the back of work.
Yeah. But you're in charge, so.
Okay. Well, let's get back.
Next question.
Have we talked about insurance?
About what?
Insurance.
Interest.
Yeah, insurance.
Insurance. Yeah.
That's
So
it.
no,
That's
sorry.
it.
Insurance.
That's it.
No, I don't think we have. No.
Like,
talk about that.
Question number 4. So as we Japanese go overseas, even it's not necessary to do, we need to take an insurance.
Yes, like health insurance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though that's already, the paying insurance is already expensive, if we don't pay for that, that's gonna be much more expensive.
Yeah.
And just going to hospital is expensive.
It's so expensive.
Yeah.
So expensive.
So what I want to ask you is there any specific insurance that you guys, not only you, like people from UK take?
So lots of people, it's really interesting. So the UK and Australia have like an understanding. They have like they have this relationship because of their past history. So they have this sort of deal where if you're from the UK and and because back in England in the UK we have a national health service which you don't have to pay for. So we don't have to pay for any part of the medicine. If you want to go to the doctor, it's free. If you want to have an operation, you're going to put on a waiting list, it's free. So Australians in the UK will get a certain level of cover, and they do the same for us here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we are covered because we cover people in the UK cover people in Australia. We're then covered in Australia. So for example, if I were to have an accident, let's hope that doesn't happen. If I were to have an accident, like a car accident, for example, someone from outside the UK would probably have to pay for their care in hospital, but because I'm from the UK, I am covered. It's called reciprocal cover.
You are covered.
I'm covered, so I don't have to pay.
For whole thing?
Yeah, pretty much, I think. Like there's stuff like dental you're not covered for, but it's called Medicare out here, so you get put on Medicare. You can pay for Medicare as if you're not Australian or from the UK or people with this special deal. But I'm covered, so if I want to go to the doctor, I don't have to pay, which is crazy. It's so good. So, and I always think, because I learn lots about hospitals because my partner's a doctor, but in some cases people from outside of Australia and outside of the UK, they come into hospital and they're unconscious, and then they might wake up having been treated and then have a massive bill. You know, they might suddenly, if they don't have health insurance, if they don't have health insurance, they're in serious trouble, and they may have to pay a lot of money. So it's one thing for us. I know that my partner and I have private healthcare insurance for other things like dental and stuff. So we use different healthcare insurance. But yeah, it's a special deal that we have with Australia. So that's kind of cool.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, but I feel sorry for people who don't have it. Though.
Sorry for
we're very
me.
lucky. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry
we're very lucky. So
since I knew we're same age, I wanna ask you about the question that many Japanese who work as a full-time in Japan struggle with. Was it difficult to make a decision to go or work in healthcare?
What made my decision?
No. Was it difficult?
Was it difficult to make that decision?
Yeah.
Because we're a little bit older.
Yeah.
Because that's a good question. Because there's a lot more younger people out here.
Yeah.
You know, there's then I'm a little bit older. We're both born in 1991, right?
Yes.
Yeah, same age.
Oh well, actually, I haven't told my audience my age
yet.
So, well, I was gonna say, let's say we're late 20s.
Yeah, late 20s.
So I'm gonna cut what you say.
Cool.
I'm gonna just cut what you say. Okay.
Yeah, don't want to tell them. That's cool. Never tell a girl an age. Never tell anyone the girl's age. So rude.
I just look young.
Yeah, we are the same age. Cool. It's a really interesting question because the majority of people that go on working holiday visas are young, and I don't know if you know that if you're over 30 in Australia, you're too old for a working holiday. So yeah, you have to be under 30.
Yeah.
So they want a young workforce. Was it a difficult decision? Well, I was moving over with my partner, my girlfriend, so it was an easy decision. But I love the idea of a life break. I think it's a very modern idea. Like, I think our parents are more like, you know, you get a job and you work until you're 60 or 65, and then you retire and you work for the same company, get a gold watch. I love the idea of the fact that, you know, I've worked for 6 years in industry, in an office, and I decided exactly. I decided one day to let's have a break. Let's do a year or 2 years. Let's just go and live in a different country because, you know, I've never done that before. So it was so exciting to break up that work life, and I'm gonna go back to it and then have all these amazing memories. So it's the best decision I've ever made. Easy, and don't get me wrong, it's a hard one. It's a hard decision to make because you have to give up your whole life and you have to move your whole life, and there's lots of complications that come with that. But it's the best decision I ever made.
Why I ask you this question is that since I started making the videos about working every day, I get many questions from Japanese who are interested in going on working holiday.
Yeah.
But they work as a full time there.
Yes.
And especially people who graduated from university and got a really good job.
Yes.
And they're stepping up the career.
Yes.
But they're still interested in going.
Having a life break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are anxious about what would happen after they are back to Japan.
Yeah.
They think that they might not able to get the job as they had before.
It's interesting. I find with me, I feel that the fact that I can put this on my CV or resume, that I have some employers will actually look at that as a bonus. Like they feel that you're more of a rounded person, you're a more complete person because you've gone out and seen the world. And some employers may even see that as a plus. Of course, there may be a gap in your CV, but there's no reason why, or your resume, there may be a gap because you've taken this year out. But then you can do things while you're out here, get some more work experience. So you're not only getting the experiences of your life and seeing amazing places, but then you can gain more in your industry to then go back and be more employable.
Yeah.
That's what I think anyway. So, but I've worked out here and a similar thing to what I did at home. So for me, it looks just great on my CV that I've come to Australia and learned more about my industry from a different country's perspective. So, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Cool.
Your career got more.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I can improve my career from taking a working holiday visa because I've gained more experience. And I know that if I saw someone, or if I was in charge and we're going to employ someone, the fact that I can see that they've gone out and seen the world, I think they're more of a rounded person. And meet people from different cultures as well. That's one thing that I've learned. I've now got friends from all around the world from doing a working holiday visa. I've got one of my best friends, he's from Holland, and I'm going to go visit him in Holland.
Oh.
Like, I've never met anyone from Japan before, had made friends, and now, I've met you, which is amazing. And like loads of Australian friends, and we've got another girl that works here, she's from Canada, and one of my friends, Jackson, he was in America.
Yeah.
So we've got people we've met all these amazing people.
All over the world.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think it makes you a better person from understanding more people's cultures.
Yeah.
I think people can be quite narrow-minded if they've only lived in one place, but
They have small mind.
small mind. Yeah, exactly. You learn so much from people from different cultures. So.
That's good.
Yeah, I think so. Bonus. Yeah.
But Irish Japanese people think that way.
Yeah, that's cool.
So if there is some extra question, so you might already answer.
Okay,
But let me
ask me again.
Question. Okay.
Yep.
So if you tell the people around you, like your family, friends, or your coworker, that you are going on a working holiday, even with your girlfriend or not, maybe by yourself, what would people think?
What would people think of me that I've gone travelling?
Yeah.
I think that's such a good question. Lots of people were really excited for me.
Oh, really?
Because I'm
good.
very lucky that lots of people that I'm friends with have all done little bits of travelling, and I was one of the only ones who hadn't done much travelling. So they're like, oh my god, Australia, you'll love it. So lots of my friends were very supportive. My parents, to start off with, were like, is this the right decision for you? You've got a job, you've been working there for 4 or 5 years, you've worked your way and you've worked really hard. Is it a good idea to leave that and then, just give everything up and then go travelling? And it is a difficult decision. I must say that I have kept in a lot of close contact with the people that I used to work with, so I haven't entirely cut myself off, so it'd be great if I could go back to the job because I loved what I did in the UK. I was very lucky. But I also wanted to see the world more. So my parents weren't really on board. I also think that they thought I would never come back.
Oh.
Even my girlfriend thinks that my girlfriend came out here before I did. She was here for 6 weeks beforehand. She was like, Joe, you're gonna love this place. You're not going to want to leave. There's surfing. Everyone's outside all the time. Everything's like outdoor adventure. So my parents were scared that I would never come back, and the fact that I told them that I planned to go back, they were then much more on board. They're like, okay, go have fun. Like, you only live once. So nice. Mostly. So my family were a little against it, but then on board afterwards. But then my friends were like, go do it, go and do you.
They're so supportive.
Yeah, very. I'm very lucky. Yeah, I've got some really good friends I have.
Question number 6. You ready?
Ready.
Okay. What do you think of people like me who don't speak English as their first language?
What do I think of them?
Yeah.
Well, I don't speak any other language, so I try to speak a little bit of German. I'm terrible at it. So I have so much admiration that people who can speak another language. I think it's terrible that it's quite a common thing with English people that don't speak any other languages. I have so much admiration for people that can speak, because your English is very good.
Thank you.
It is very good.
Oh.
and like some other people that I've met. Because I used to work in a pub next door, and some of them are German, some of them are one of them's from Holland, and their English is like, you know, it's their second language, and you know they work so hard at their English, and I feel like some non-English speakers in Australia are worried that their English isn't good enough. And I know that from one of my best friends that I work with. He was so worried that his English wasn't good enough, and that weighed on his mind when applying for jobs. But I think, you know...
That way, I heard something.
Yeah, I think you beat.
Do you think?
I hope I'm not talking rubbish.
No, you're not.
Rambling.
No, you're not.
My mum says I speak really quickly, so I'm trying to slow down. She was like, Joe, just speak slower. I think I speak quickly.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of people say that. Joe, what did you just say? La, 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 la.
That must be more harder for me. To
Yeah. How do you understand me? Exactly.
But like, I think my listening skill is much better than like speaking or writing or
You think so? You think you're better at understanding what people say than actually speaking it?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's interesting for me as well.
Yeah.
Like even if I don't get the word, like I try to understand by other sentences.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's amazing.
He just said talking about this topic, but I don't know the word.
Oh that's cool. But then that's something you will like develop, I think, from speaking English all the time. You know. But yeah, like I said, like, I've got so much like admiration for people who can speak another language. I wish I could. I'm gonna learn. I am gonna learn. I really want to learn.
Never like the never.
Yeah, exactly. So, but like as we were saying, I feel like lots of people are worried about how they speak. Australians can be a little bit intolerant of other people's cultures, I find. Do you find that?
Like
as in because Australians, how do I put it? They're very welcoming, but they like people that speak English.
I know.
Yeah, it is a thing, and I don't mean that in a horrible way to Australians because they've been so welcoming to me. But
you speak English.
Oh yeah, but I know, right? Yeah, exactly. But I speak English, so it's easy for me. They could be a little bit more tolerant, I think. It's the same thing for English people, I think.
Let's get to the next question, and that's gonna be last question. If you go on working holiday in the country where English is not spoken, where would you like to go? And why?
Such a good question. I've not done any of Asia at all, so I'd love to go somewhere in Asia. I'd also love to go somewhere in South America.
Okay.
I'd love to go to like Peru. I'd love somewhere like that to go and do some like traveling.
Are you allowed to go?
Am I allowed to go?
Like people from UK are allowed
I believe
to go?
so. I believe so. Yeah, I think there's lots of places where people from the UK can go. I'd love to go to Canada as well. I'd love to go and do a working holiday in Canada. Go skiing. That'd be so cool.
You like sports?
I play a lot of sports. Yeah, so I'd love to go to Canada. That's not one country. I want to go everywhere. I just want to go everywhere. I would love to go to Japan. That'd be so cool. Yeah, because I missed out on going to the Rugby World Cup, and I'm a huge rugby fan. So I would have loved to. We were looking to go to Japan and do like some time in Japan. I would have loved to do that. But I don't know how easy it is to learn Japanese. Pretty difficult.
Well, like there's people from other countries speak Japanese very
differently.
Yeah, like fluently.
Oh yeah.
Like native speaker.
Yeah.
And I figured out like speaking English is not as difficult as speaking. What did I say?
Yeah.
Speaking Japanese.
Yes.
For you
Yes.
is not as difficult as
Learning it the other way around.
yes.
You think so? So it's easier to learn from an English perspective Japanese than Japanese to learn to English. You think so?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That might be difficult
Oh, just
to
learn it.
learn writing.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Sure.
But
Yeah.
there is like three kinds of like is it characters?
Characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
We like control like
Oh,
you know.
you have to teach me. We'll do lessons. Yeah.
But I can't read Chinese.
No.
That's a different
Yeah.
way. Like
Is that different characters again? Okay. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. So to answer your question, somewhere in Asia, I think.
I
I think so. Yeah. For non-English speaking, I'd love to go somewhere in Asia. Don't know where. Somewhere. There's land. But then again, like I would love to go to New Zealand a little bit more. We're going to New Zealand, but obviously they speak English there. But I think that would be my next place to go as a working holiday.
Oh, really?
I think I would love to do it, but depends whether or not I'll have another life break.
Another break.
I probably shouldn't, but yeah, prolong my life break.
You have a few more to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Few more years to.
Yes.
Do.
Yeah. Exactly. So. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my question's done.
Sweet. I hope I answered them all right.
You did, didn't you? And one more thing.
Yep.
Is there any like advice that you can give to my audience about like the audience who are interested in going working holiday visa, even if not the country that English is not spoken, even though they don't, if
Yes.
they don't speak English,
Yes.
should they still do that if they want to?
Yeah, absolutely. You're here on holiday,
Yeah.
and you can work, you can find other jobs, I think it's an amazing place to come, like Australia. The one piece of advice I think that I would give myself if I went back again was to get organised really early on. So prepare yourself,
Okay.
get all your documentation sorted, so that when you do apply for your visa, it's a really quick process. Because sometimes you have to provide like a medical,
Yeah.
you have to provide all this information. I would say the advice to get it all sorted before you go, and then when you arrive, you can enjoy yourself. I think that's probably the main piece of advice I give. In terms of being in Australia when you get here, advice is just put yourself out there, meet lots of people. Like I think just even if hopefully if you speak a little bit of English or meet other people who are Japanese out here, then you can there's plenty of people, and just meeting people, I think can help you sort of gain a better perspective of what's around, and maybe even like find any opportunities for jobs as well through them. So I'd say just like when you arrive, just put yourself out there and just try and experience as much as you possibly can. I think that's the advice I give.
That's so positive. I
I'm
like
positive.
that. I like that.
Yeah.
It's just be brave.
Yeah, be brave, 100%. And like,
Right.
you only live once, in my opinion, or you can live many times. But
Did you
yeah,
hear that? I like what you
Deep.
did.
And yeah, so go and experience as much as you can.
Yeah.
Go and see all the cool stuff. Go and do all the cool things. And so yeah, that's my advice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Did you get everything he said? I believe I did.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I've been talking too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for today.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I had lots of fun.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you. Alright, that's it today's video. I had so much fun talking with Joe. I hope he did as well.
I did.
Yeah. Okay, if you like this video, please give me a big like. Very big like. And thank you for watching. I hope you had a wonderful day. And see you in my next video. Bye!